Hey everyone, welcome back to AI with Pallavi. Ready to learn another AWS service in just 10 minutes? Let's get started. Let's learn AWS Route 53. Now, this is one of the core service which actually is super useful. This is the DNS service that actually decides which server on earth actually answers where is this website. And you might have heard that there is a common interview question also asked generally on DNS. Like if you type www.google.com or www.amazon.com, how the request actually travels. Now, that is the reason this is a super important service. And when you are working with AWS different services, this is one of the critical ones which you should know about. Basically, Route 53 helps you to configure your own hosted zones, configure your DNS name servers, and also it gives you a registered domain of your choice. Now, let us first see how this actually works. Let's say there is an end user, and that end user is trying to access a website called www.example.com. As soon as this website is entered, right, there is a DNS resolver. That DNS resolver actually, first of all, the request is routed to, and then it goes to the DNS root name server. If it get the answer from the root name server, it is returned. If not, then it goes to the next server, that is .com TLD. So these are called the top level domains. So you would have heard .com, .org, and .others. And if still the domain is not found, it is traversed further, and then it lands up in Route 53 hosted zone where your DNS is configured, and then it returns the IP. Once the IP is returned to the client, the call is further made to that IP address, and the website is served. So that is why we need Route 53, and this is where Route 53 comes into picture. How you can define your domain names. Let's look at more around what route referencing actually does. So it is actually your domain's rule book, right? So it contains all the DNS records. You can define a new domain as well. It has different types of records. Now it's super important to understand the different types of record as well, because every record type has its own functionality. For example, A record mapped to IPs, then CNAME mapped to another name. Alias is Route 53's free AWS native superpower. What does that mean? Alias routes to the AWS services itself, like to load balancers, CloudFront, and others. Then routing policies. Let's say if you have multiple DNS name servers, you just try to send it from one to other. There are traffic policies like simple, weighted, latency, failover, geolocation. Each answers a different business question altogether. Then health checks. It also provides health checks because it manages the name servers for you. You don't have to configure them yourself, and it ensures that every time there is a name server which is alive. Domain registration. You're looking for a new domain, go and check that out in Route 3 with minimal fee. It helps you to get a new domain. And hybrid DNS bridge. So this resolves DNS between your VPC and on-premise network as well. We'll cover that in a bit. Now, what exactly each of this means? Hosted zones, these are basically the public zones that answer queries from internet. So that was the first hosted zone where you actually mention all the queries and all the records which you want. Then alias records. Now, if you want to point your name servers or your domain name to AWS services, then you can have alias records. For example, ALB, Cloud.run S3. This will help you to configure that. Routing policy. This is how you move the traffic around. Simple routing policy, whichever domain name you point to, let's say ALB, it does that. Weighted, let's say you have two different load balancers, right, or two different endpoints. 50% of the loads needs to go to endpoint 1, 50% to endpoint 2. That's how it changes. Health checks. This pulls an endpoint every 10 to 30 seconds. Failover and weighted routing both depend on this signal to route around a dead target. Let's say a server is unresponsive, right? So in that case, it automatically shifts the target. Domain registration. It handles the whois privacy and everything around your domain registration. Resolver endpoints. Inbound and outbound endpoints let on-premise DNS and VPC to talk to each other. So that's how easy it is to manage a domain within Route 53. But it does not end here. So let's look at one of the example. Let's look at a DNS query for www.example.com from a user in Mumbai. Now there are three policies. Let's look at the three different answers. If it is latency policy, right, which we have matched. So US East one, it has 120 millisecond latency. AP South one, 8 milliseconds. So it returns from AP South one. So automatic, the load is transferred there. Failover policy: primary unhealthy, secondary healthy. It returns secondary only. Weighted policy: V1 at 90%, V2 at 10%. Probabilistic split, right? So it transfers the traffic like that. Then we also have different use cases where you can use Route 53. For example, automatic cutover when primary goes down. So why you do not need to do manual DNS update? Because there is a TTL as well. So automatically it cut over to next. Then weighted routing shifts traffic gradually. So let's say if you are bringing up new canary domain, automatically the traffic can transfer. Then users land on the nearest AWS region, that is the latency based routing. Then you have hybrid DNS with resolver. Some of the requests might need to go to on-prem, some needs to go to VPC. How will you do that? That is with the help of hybrid DNS resolver. So this is how the queries actually are managed. The browser queries the DNS, it goes to recursive resolver. If there's a health check, and if the primary is not healthy, it goes to secondary. Otherwise, it goes to primary and return the IP. Now you can see there is a failover triggered section also in this case, because if you have failover settings, then only it goes to secondary. Otherwise, it just says the error, gives the errors to the client. So ensure that if you have production workloads running, you ensure that you have failover settings also enabled. Now this is where things get serious, because this is the part which actually matters. Like, you need to know what is the difference between Alias versus CNAME, right? CNAME, standard DNS, can't be used at the zone apex. No native AWS health check integration, but with Alias it works like that. Latency versus geolocation routing. Latency is routed by measured network latency, but geolocation routes by the user's actual geographic location. Don't confuse between the two, that the latency is always low, and in case the requester is closer, right? So that's not the case, right? So you need to ensure that latency and geolocation routing is taken care separately. Then failover versus multi-value answer, public versus private hosted zone. This is also important. Public hosted zone resolves from the internet for internet facing domains. If you want your domain name to be accessible within your AWS network only, then just choose the private one, because that is more helpful in that case. Now, Route 53 resolver versus public Route 53. Yeah, this is also one of the common ones. Like, hybrid DNS bridge between on-prem network and a VPC is a resolver. Then public Route 53 is the authoritative DNS for internet-facing domain. So you need to be clear out what you want to use. TTL. There is important to understand the TTL trade-off. Like, low TTL will have faster failover and propagation, but higher DNS query volume and cost. The number of queries will increase because the TTL is low and it needs to be refreshed accordingly. Then high TTL, cheaper and less DNS traffic, but slower to recover from a failover event. So that's how things have changed. So let's look at few more things, like how it actually transfers the traffic. So if you see here, the request came like in section A, step A, then goes to B, that is via customer gateway. So here we are showing on-premise data to VPC connectivity. By customer gateway, it went to virtual private gateway. Then from virtual private gateway, using an inbound endpoint, it will reach the Route 53 resolver. Resolver gave the address using the outward endpoint, and the DNS query was satisfied. Now, once that is done, there is also something like outbound traffic. If this is an outbound traffic, the first step from the EC2 instance, let's say if you're sending, will be it will be routed using the VPC route table, goes to Route 53 resolver, then using the outbound endpoint, it serves the request. So that is how the outbound queries happen. So DNS is one of the most critical part, and you should definitely know it. If we go to Route 53 console, you can say you can create a dashboard where you see multiple domain names. You can search for a domain as well. For example, if I say Pallavi.aws and I want to check whether there are specific domains available, I can find that. So this is not supported. Let me say pallaviaws.com. Let's search for this. Okay, so it's available. Pallavi AWS.com is available. Then there are multiple pricing rates as well, right? Suggested available domains based on the root domain which you use, it changes. So that's how you can configure this one. You also have different requests which you can target, then IP-based routing, CIDR collections, VPCs. So all those resolvers can be configured within Route 53, and this is how easy you can configure Route 53. So go ahead and try it out and get your first domain name. And just like that, you have learned another AWS service in 10 minutes. Hit that subscribe button if you like this video and comment if you have any questions related to this service or if there is any service you want me to focus next. Happy learning!